Here we are again, folks. You know what this place is? No, it's not 30th Street Station, Philadelphia. It's not Washington Union Station. It's not Newark Penn Station or Chicago Union Station or that dreaded, obscene Grand Central Madison. That doesn't even exist in my mind. Yep, you guessed it. Grand Central Terminal. This place just never fails to leave me awestruck. It's a cathedral in this country. Penn Station, before they tore it down back in the 60s, that was also a cathedral. But as beautiful as Penn Station used to be, this is a Google times better. And to think it was almost torn down. But thanks to Jackie Onassis, it's still standing. Beautiful structure. I get goosebumps just looking at it all the time. Forget that Grand Central Madison nonsense. That's just some way of advertising a different part of the terminal for a different railroad. It's a smokescreen. You're hiding the real glamour of this beautiful building by calling it that. It's degradation at its worst. I think I could do that job. What do you think, folks?
What's the next one and where?
407 on track 111.
111. Thanks.
What time is that? What time is that train? 403. Okay. I'm catching the 403 out to Long Island. Two floors. So even some of them say they're on track 20 something, and some say they're on track 30 something. If it's on 3, is it still just 2 flights down?
Yeah. Well, not exactly, but their terminal begins 2 floors down. After that, you still gonna have to walk some, and then go down another 2 floors.
That's what I wonder. Okay, thanks.
Just got off train 4649 at Harlem 125. This is a real high-wheeler. Got the Here's Johnny engineer running this. His first name is Ed. I don't have to tell you the rest. This train makes White Plains and then Golden's Bridge and all stops to southeast. M3s, as you can see. Got equipment coming in. I wonder what's on the back of this. He'll be out on a later train, I'm sure. He can at least get everything.
North White Plains, South Harlem, all towards but South Capitol, South Kisco, Bedford Hill, Chicago, Golden Bridge, Purdy, from Golden Bridge, and South.
Harlem 125 is an exhilarating place to watch trains on Metro North. Everything in and out of Grand Central passes through here. Train movements during the rush hour especially are constant. Multi-trains, it's sort of like the Clapham Junction of the USA, only on a much smaller scale. Well, here's 649 coming in. That was what was being announced, headed for Southeast. Try to capture some of the key trains here, both MU and locomotive hauled. You can see the fencing that's located between tracks 1 and 2. They're reworking the viaduct here. Here's 600 from southeast. That's a pokey from southeast. Makes all stops from southeast to Scarsdale, then Fordham, Harlem, and Grand Central. Here's 770, a local from Croton Harmon at 4:58. This is a train from Stamford, local. Kawasaki M8s. Well, coming on track 3 at 5 o'clock is a real high wheeler. It competes with the Acela Express 3546. Makes Stamford, Bridgeport, New Haven only. Said that those 3500 series trains to New Haven are faster than the Acela Express. I can believe it. 502, this is 847, bound for Poughkeepsie. Powered by P32 number 219. And 847 was being paced by a Harrison-bound train. It's madness to try to identify all these trains, but this is 753, local for Croton Harmon. Over there is 353 for North White Plains, one of those real snail rail trains. Make every stop to North White Plains. 753 is in hot pursuit of 353, but not for long. CP5 over the Harlem River. He'll head up the Hudson Line. Well, here comes 651 to southeast at 509. It's a relatively hot train up there. Skips a few stations, but it's not as hot as the still to come 655, which makes Chappaqua the first stop after Grand Central. Well, I hope to see many Heritage units while I'm here. I missed the 217. He went up on 841. Hopefully I'll see 6 out of the 7. Well, there's one of them, the 222. He'll be coming back later on something. They run a lot of equipment out of High Bridge, Croton Harmon, comes down to Grand Central to make outbound trains. Here's 653 to Mount Kisco at 514. Now we got equipment from Stamford coming in with the Conrail 201 in the back. Is train 7111. He goes to Yankee Stadium. Yankees are playing the Baltimore Orioles tonight. Go Orioles! The Baltimore Orioles won more American League ball games in the 1960s than any other team, including the New York Yankees, believe it or not. Oriole Park at Camden Yards is far superior to Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium's is stale. Well, here comes the 849, this is a real high wheeler. Next stop is Beacon. Beacon, New Hamburg, and Poughkeepsie. This in 1848 usually race out of here. Shortly, 851 for Beacon should be coming in, and he'll have a most interesting locomotive on it. Well, here's 851 to Beacon. Look what he's got, the newly painted 203. Approaching 532 is 953 for Wassaic. After here, he stops at White Plains, North White Plains, Brewster, and all stops. That would be a pretty quick train for that girl to take to visit her father. Train 755 for Croton Harlem with M3s. Well, 9406, this is train 1556, named after a famous Long Island Railroad RS3 that's in the process of being restored. This train is it's a speedster, makes Stamford, Bridgeport, and all stops to New Haven. Coming at 541 is 1457 for South Norwalk, and then 667 for Brewster. $6.57, pardon me. And shortly you should be having probably the most crowded train on Metro North. Train 557, Grand Central to North White Plains.
White Plains Station next. Make sure you're getting on the right train. Peak out. Harlem Line train to Brewster. White Plains next.
Yeah, 557 makes Scarsdale, Hartsdale, White Plains North. That is it. And it usually has 12 cars. Push-pull equipment coming in. 5:44 after Grand Central. His first stop is Beacon. That was 5:57. Scarsdale, the first stop. That's probably Metro North's biggest revenue producer. 12 cars. Well, this is 8:55 for Poughkeepsie. M7 is for Crestwood, and that M3 is an express to Croton Harmon, Tarrytown, the first stop. There's a Greystone-bound train on track number 4. It's a pleasant day today, like around 80 degrees, 82 degrees, low humidity, but the wind is really kicked up. Coming in at 6:05 is train 559 for North White Plains. This is the kind of North White Plains I like to ride. He makes Scarsdale, Hartsdale, White Plains, and North White Plains. He's got M3s too. Here comes 876 from Poughkeepsie. He'll have the 214 in the back. 1860 had the 222, but I got him going in. But this is 857 for Poughkeepsie, and he's got the Conrail. I've been here about almost an hour and a half, but seems like I've seen about 8 hours worth of action here. No, into the valley of death. Oh my God. It's worse than 1,000 deaths. Ugh. Where are the snakes? Where are the Gila monsters and scorpions?